very easy to move quickly by yourself. It's very difficult to move quickly together. But if you learn to be patient, you can move further distances together because you have patience to build other people and patience to build a team, which will make your long-term trajectory much further than just doing it on your own. So remember, if you want to move fast, move alone. If you want to move far, move together. What's up, guys? My name is Chris. I'm the founder of Warrior Consulting, and today we're going to talk about how to build world-class patience. My intent here is to help you, add value, give you some perspective, and teach you off my mistakes because I've had a lot of practice when it comes to patience because it's something that I did not have for probably 3 decades of my life. However, over the past few years, it's been a big focal point for me as a human and a business owner. So I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to build world-class patience. Let's get into the show. The first piece to building world-class patience, and the hardest piece to understand if you really want to have patience, let alone world-class patience, is it has nothing to do with you. Understanding that it has nothing to do with you is the key. And I say that because patience is rooted from understanding that you're here for something, and that something has nothing to do with you fundamentally. You're there for others when it comes to patience. In the context of patience for yourself, if you understand that it has nothing to do with you and you're only here to help others, that's the key. Understanding that it has nothing to do with us is the root and the key to having world-class patience. Number 2, if you want to move fast, move alone. If you want to move far, move together. That was a piece of advice that I learned probably about 2 decades ago in the military from one of my first leaders. One of my first leaders that I've emulated all the great things that he taught me from my beginning roots of leadership. Now, the polarities here between leadership and patience are great, but for the sake of today, we're talking about world-class patience, and it's very easy to move quickly by yourself. It's very difficult to move quickly together. But if you learn to be patient, you can move further distances together because you have patience to build other people and patience to build a team, which will make your long-term trajectory much further than just doing it on your own. So remember, if you want to move fast, move alone. If you want to move far, move together. To build world-class patience, you as a leader take your time and be patient with your team. Speaking of team, number 3, let your team dent the car without totaling it. This was a concept that I learned from my buddy Aaron, who is an amazing man and leader, but also a very patient man. And we were all teaching leadership at an event earlier this year, and he said it, let your team dent the car without totaling it. It's a much different way of explaining things than I would say. I would say something along the lines of, let your team put their head through the wall without breaking their neck. I'm a little bit more aggressive when it comes to things, but since we're talking about patience, understanding that if you want to build world-class patience and you have a team, you have to let them make decisions, do things, let them make mistakes, understanding that they need to learn that they dented the car and they're responsible for it, but not allowing them to total it. It's a very, very high level concept, but it's also very rudimentary when it comes to the understanding. Let your team dent the car, let them go make mistakes, but don't let them total it. All right, number 4, and this is the hardest one, which I work on all the time still to this day. It actually happened today prior to recording. Knowing the answer and letting your team make the wrong decision to learn. The key here is that your team learns from making the wrong decision, but having world-class patience as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a human, you can look at the person and know that they're doing the wrong thing. It's the wrong answer. They're making a mistake, but you let them make it anyways so they can see that it was a mistake, a wrong decision, and potentially learn from it. So this piggybacks off number 3, which is let your team dent the car without totaling it. But as a world-class practitioner of patience, you're watching your team make the wrong decision so they can learn from that mistake. And that is a trait of world-class patience. And I say this is what I practice most on a daily basis. And this is 20 years into leadership and 15 years into entrepreneurship. And this is still one of the focal points for me as I teach this to you. And I have made more mistakes on myself, but it allows me to provide this type of value to you vulnerably because it's the piece of world-class patience that I'm working on personally myself. And that is why I offer it to you. Knowing the answer and letting your team make the wrong decision to learn from it. That's what I got for you today, guys, when it comes to building world-class patience. It's something that I practice every day. It's something that I hope that you're practicing every day. These are the 4 tips that I've identified to be able to give to you, to help you, to provide some value, to give back to you. Here's my ask. If you have questions, drop them below. Let's talk about it. I want to talk to you guys about this subject and see if there's anything more that I could help you with because you're commenting on the show and showing me that you learned something. So if you have a comment, drop it below. If not, I'll catch you next time. Go build world-class patience.